You're such an asshole.
Reen sent this one in, and because he's a regular, I sent him a quote. Let me show you the gentleman's agreement. Okay, let me show you how mature people deal with things. So Reen sends in the request. Now, Reen, as you know, regularly makes contributions, super chats. But he also pays for requests. And I'm like, boy, I don't want to fire this up again. I don't want to set up the StreamYard account again. We got the assembly line going here, right? We're on fire. The assembly line's rolling. Because I'm a charitable and kind Cappy. I sent him a quote for a price quote. I'm going to do it assuming he's going to pay. And if he doesn't want to pay, you know what? That's fine, Reen. You've donated enough super chats. That's all right. I'll leave it up to you whether you want to pay me. Gentlemen's agreement, see? See what happens when we get into the world of mature adult responsibility? Speaking of the opposite, the professional victim whores, and that's what they are. Jesse Jackson being the original. Is he still alive? Is that degenerate still alive? You guys all believed he was like this, Martin Luther King because he marched with them. He's just a grifter. The idea women, from Reen, the idea women are the happiest that Trump won because they can now live life as victims again. Something a buddy mentioned, I thought that actually is true to a degree. I tend to agree with you. I think some women are actually upset that Trump won. But yeah, from what I've seen in my entire adult career, where there are just these professional, oh my God, we're so oppressed. That is such a tiring grift of the left. Whether it was Jesse Jackson and his Rainbow Coalition, Black Lives Matter. But yeah, the Women's Studies Department, 8 in 3 women are assaulted of a certain type and raisined every 30 seconds on campus by 10 men every second. What? And it's like, that's a lie. It's been going on forever. And so, yeah, I don't know if it makes them happy. I don't know if they're happiest. I don't think these people could be happy, to be perfectly honest. If your life, your profession is to play the perpetual victim and feign anger and rage, because then you don't have to work a real job. That's ultimately what laziness explains everything, everybody. You look at this ridiculous behavior with absurd statistics about men treating women poorly through raisoning and a certain type of assault. And you just look at feminists, they're not happy people. You'd think they'd have the stoic mentality like, wow, I'm a women's studies professor. I can't believe I got paid, through scholarship or whatever. Like, they gave me a PhD, like an actual PhD in studying the hole between my legs. And I get to write bullshit. And they're going to pay me to be a professor. Like, I'd be pretty fucking happy if I pulled off that robbery. Well, they're still pissed off. I don't know. They gotta get in character and make it a sincere and compelling act. I do believe some women, again, you say to a degree, right? 160 million American women. Some are true believers. Some are like Anita Sarkeesian is the perfect example of a woman who knew exactly what she's doing. Right? I don't think she believes in half that shit. But she's damn happy. I mean, she made her money. What was it? Intel? You idiots at Intel gave that woman $250,000. I bet she went home sometimes like, I can't believe these dipshits actually paid. What? Can you believe this? Who knows? In secret, she might even vote. She could be a rabid conservative for all we know. I think somewhere, though, it's a bit of both. I think women in that field, as you're talking about women, actually do believe they're victims. But then it's just so easy to go on to the grift and woe is us, we're now I think a little, and deep down inside, they know they're lying to themselves. Now women and the sisterhood will have 4 more years of victimhood, hence the whole 4B movement, the whole poison men and the patriarchy is back. Yes. There's a significant, there is a real victimhood industry, a perpetual victimhood industry. And not just obviously not just relegated to women. It's all traits. That's why I point it out. Everybody is lazy. It's just whether they're smart enough to realize that there's more intelligent ways to getting out of poverty or making a living. And whereas your point, because Trump, obviously, there's a sexual male versus female dynamic there. I'll go to the straight white boys to show you this. This is all people. Straight white boys. Shit, I'm a straight white guy. I don't want to work. Oh my God, I got the autisms. I can't do the no more worksies. Give me the disability SSI check. Everyone's a victim. Oh my God, I do believe I'm a bit of the trans today. 90, I'm calling it 90% of the people that are trans on the internet are just straight people trying to grift, being the, oh, I'm a victim. I just did a tweet where, and it dawned on me because I was tagging a discussion going on and there was a trans person. And all this, I think it was a girl, just cursing and swearing and hating. And I'm like, I'm going through the thread. I'm like, why are you all of a sudden cursing and swearing and saying everyone's abusing you? And I'm calling bullshit. 90% of the trans people on there, you ain't trans. You're straight people don't want to work for a living. It's just insufferable, whining, complaining professional victims. You're insulting the real trans people, just like the people faking their mental illness are insulting the people with genuine mental illness. It's just a tiring, little bitchy victimhood grift. So it isn't relegated to women, but yeah, Trump is out there now. You darn right. They're licking their chops. Money. Ooh. You'll see things taken out of context. Trump will be the most sexist president ever. Oh my God, Trump said this. And, there's going to be people like, oh, I hate Trump too. And yeah, you're so oppressed. Well, how women are oppressed in this country. I really don't. Show me where you're oppressed. But yeah, there's money to be made. There's money to be made. Anyway, you talk about the hole in their lives. This may fill it for another 4 years, even though we know we'll still be there. Anyway, I want to get your thoughts because I'm sure with all the videos these next 4 years are not going to help women, will further their delusions of mental illness. Well, maybe there are going to be videos that also help women. Yeah, thousands, millions of YouTube creators. But yeah, there's going to be the grift. There's going to be yes. So you ask, it'll fill the hole in their lives, but we know it will still be there. And we want to get your thoughts. All right, so let's go over it. All right, here's why professional victim whores exist. Because it's profitable. There's money to be made. All right. In part because people are charitable, right? The woman who stands out there with her kid can't eat. They're at Walmart. No, she's on welfare. She doesn't need the money. There's people who are guilty. Oh my God, I actually think women are oppressed. I'll donate money. So you get that. And then it provides the false flag or the Gulf of Tonkin incident by which Democrats, leftists, socialists, whatever government you're in, can therefore rationalize spending more money on people on their team. Oh my God, women are oppressed. We need more scholarships for women. We need quotas, because women just are so oppressed in this country. See, look, somebody with articles said so. Look, academic feminists never worked day in life came up with research that showed women still oppressed. Shock, needs more funding. It's sock puppeting your funding is what it is. So there's profit to be had there. Also, laziness explains everything. You don't have to really work. The whole entirety of the women's studies department, as I would say, sociology, most of the social sciences, but especially the women's studies department, is a welfare jobs program. You don't have to work. It's not a real thing. The latest exhibit I can give you is look at the Wikipedia entry to the 4B movement, right? It's not a big, you mention it, Reen, but it's not that big of a deal. It's a small, obscure movement in South Korea. It sounds flashy and sexy. It makes waves on the internet, gets clicks, and women are going to try to adapt it here. um, shit, where was I going to go with that? Fuck, what was I going to do with it? Oh, that's what I was going to say in the Wikipedia entry for it. All right, to show you how little feminists have to do. I'm being deadly serious about academic feminists, women's studies majors, whatever you want to call them. The 4B movement is a very obscure, it's not a thing. I mean, it's a thing, but it's so minor, it's ineffective. It's not a thing. There is such a thorough and complete and academically organized, structured Wikipedia entry because I guarantee you a bunch of women's studies professors went in there because they literally have nothing important to do. It is just a professional victimhood grift. And so you don't really have to work. I mean, that's the whole idea of a victim. I'm powerless to do anything. I need other people's money. Right? I'm a mentally disabled, straight white guy from the suburbs, but I can't work. I have the Asperger's. Money, please. You don't have to work. So it's profitable. And like what? Anita Sarkeesian? That's not a real job. What, fly around on what's it called? Shakedown money, essentially. And you get to speak and talk to women's conventions and consult, Balasek Wonder Putz's video game executives. That's not real work. So it's very attractive. Hey, Aaron, all you got to do is act like a victim for a while. And you get free money and you don't have to work and you get to travel the world about how oppressed you are. So there's a huge financial incentive. But then at the same time, you're right. That hole you're talking about is the love and investment of other people. In this particular case, a man and children and family. But to attract a man and have family takes work. And I'll say it again. Their fear of the work that is required to actually satiate and fill the hole permanently is stronger than their desire to have that hole filled. They fear I think I even wrote it in How Not to Become a Millennial. The fear of labor for many people is supremely powerful. There's nothing more powerful than it, and it will govern and essentially enslave all these people to live in fear and avoid work. Like homeless people is a perfect example. They are so afraid of work, they will torture themselves with a lifetime of homelessness. They'll be in the tent, they'll be hungry, they'll be cold, they'll be diseased, there's crime, it'll be dangerous. And you're like, dude, all you got to do, even if you work security, you'll at least be indoors. Like, that is a tortured life. For some people, work is even more painful than that life. And in this case, people would rather live a lie that I'd say most people know it's a lie. They're feigning it. But it's better in their minds. Then they don't have to work. That total fear of work. It forces them to go into this act, this shtick, this grift, right? And they're like, okay, I don't have to work. Yet at the same time, you're not going to get what you want out of life. You're not going to be happy. That hole will forever be there. And you can do all the mental acrobatics of convincing yourself you don't need the hole filled and that you could pride yourself on, I don't need no man. That hole don't need to be filled. You could do all the mental acrobatics, but nature and human evolution, for just human evolution alone for 200,000 years, has hardwired you to want to have that hole fill. And this is why I'd also argue you see a lot of antidepressant use among professional women in general. Because in a certain sense, I'm not saying that these women don't work. Absolutely not. But some women do believe that girl bossing in the career is the most important thing, not love or family or husband. And I don't know. I think there again is the fear of work. It's the lazy. To get a man requires physical labor. You got to go on the treadmill. So you're going to lie to yourself. I don't need no one. I'm happy and I'm a girl boss and I got my bag. And then I'm like, yeah. And meanwhile, you're crying yourself to sleep, drinking yourself silly and on antidepressants. But I'm not kidding. I don't think it's an irrational or mentally ill or flawed. I think it's quite a sane choice they made. That life, that hypocritical life, the double life where you act that you got it all together and you don't need no, or you act like you're a victim, but that hole is still filled. That is still preferable than the work that would be required to be an attractive woman, to attract a man, have sex, be nice to the guy, maybe take care of him, take care of the house, and raise kids. They don't want to put the effort into that. That amount of work and labor is more work and labor than them. Whatever. I'm a girl boss G in a mini. A girl boss G in a mini. Fallopian tubes on my neck. Fallopian tubes on my neck. And well, I mean, even so with okay, Anita Sarkeesian, I think, was one of the more stoic-based, aware. Yeah, this is all bullshit. And even she ended up going and marrying herself. For God's fucking sake. And I guess that ultimately makes my point, where the people who are victims, even if they have the consciousness that this is a grift, the people who actually think they're victims, yeah, that's a miserable life. Everyone's out to get you. It's hopeless. There's nothing you can do. And then a couple black dudes started waking up saying, wait a minute, I'm going to vote Trump. I'm not all this doom and gloom what the Democrats say. I have my own agency. And the Democrats are, oh, shit, they're leaving the plantation. Quick, get it back on. Starting to enjoy their life and make decisions and take matters into their own hands. But if you are led to believe that you are actually is the true believers, and then the ones lying to themselves, and then they're lying to themselves. The true believers, yeah, you're miserable. That'd be absolutely, oh, everyone's out to get me. There's nothing I can do. It's outside of my control. That, yes, I understand they're miserable. That makes sense. I'd be miserable too. But then there's the ones who fake it. And they're like, oh, the autism, the vagina, the skin color, the orientation, whatever trait they want to claim is keeping them down. Not only would that be tiring and wear on you to keep that act up, and it would, you maybe even start believing your own shit. The problem is that you are still a lazy person. You're not putting in the effort to make yourself a better quality person, right? If you're a grifter, if you're one of these perpetual victims, you're not a quality or high quality person. You're a low quality person. And I've said this before. You guys can complain about people on welfare all you want. If you're that lazy, you're lazy in all aspects in life. And the same thing, if you're a perpetual victim, you got to keep the act up. You're a perpetual victim in all aspects in life. This is why, how do you know who the feminist in the room is? Don't worry, she'll tell you about patriarchy. First thing. And so if you're going to be a lazy person and you're going to actually be a professional victim, not only are you a miserable person, you're a lazy person who doesn't work on other aspects of your life. This is why, did you notice how feminists tend not to be the treadmill, svelte, attractive type? They're poor and low quality in all aspects. And if you're a poor, low quality human in all aspects of life, no one's going to reciprocally invest in you. No one. And if you don't have other humans investing in you, like you don't have relationships, you don't have friendships, you don't have love, you don't have romance, you don't have sex, no matter how gross and icky and the male gaze, feminist, you got nothing. And I don't care how much y'all keep lying to yourself that you don't need. In this particular case, you talk about feminists and victims of Trump and all that. I don't care how much you lie to yourself. The truth is, you would have been happier if you had a guy. You would have been happier if you put in the effort and the time to become an attractive woman, attract a man, had kids, raise the kids, not go off the girl boss, and make another billionaire, an extra billion. You would have been happier had you put in the effort to become a higher quality person. But since you didn't, no one, or certainly no one of quality, is going to counter invest in you. No one. And therefore, that hole will forever go unfulfilled. And you will always be, and at worst, you're always surrounded. Could you imagine working in a women's studies department? Oh my God. Compare that to Mike Sartain's job where he works with beautiful women that are happy and doing modeling. They're always smiling, having a good old time. There's Rolo with his ridiculous costume on. He's got a smirk in his face. Everyone's having a good time. Why? Frankly, because the women put the time in at the gym. So did the guys. Now compare that to the women's studies department. Oh, fuck me with a telephone pole. Hell no. Hell no. Oh, and you're just surrounded by miserable people. But that hole will never get filled because they are more afraid of the work. In other words, the fear of the work to fill the hole is more powerful and intimidating than the pain that their miserable lives are. There's the math, right? The leisure and the gluttony and the sloth well, how do I want to put it? The fear of hitting the treadmill is more important to the overweight spouse than the love of their spouse, right? Because if it was more important, you'd hit the treadmill. You could see fear and laziness govern so much of human behavior, especially among the left. And you could see it because you look at him like I don't mean this in an insulting thing. Like, you are a physically unappealing person. You have a ridiculous hair, anything to avoid work. You have stupid tattoos, piercings, ridiculous hair colors. You're fat, you're overweight. You don't put yourself together. Not to say there aren't fat, ugly Republicans. There are. But, do you see, I don't see like a ton of hot feminist studies. Really, I don't. I really don't. And the same thing with the leftist men. These guys are not exactly like jack guys that go to the gym and are sought after by women of a copulating age. So they're miserable because they're too lazy to even invest in themselves, and no one's going to invest in them because why would you invest in these people? They have no value. And they're also, and then another thing, victimhood mentality people, they're a risk. I had a friend. I still got a friend. And he had an interaction with a woman. She went right to victim status. So he's like, oh, shit. I'm glad you saved that text. Like, professional victims are dangerous people because instead of forming relationships, it's more important that they get money out of you. Like, if they're like the CIA looking for an asset to own. How can I use this person? Oh, hang on. I'll have to answer that later. So there you are. Link below. I have my essay, Sanity is the Future of Wealth. People who have their sanity are much wealthier than millionaires and billionaires who don't have their sanity. Please read that essay if you get angry about how leftists make off with all the money and oh my God, look at that. They get to be a fake professor. Please read that essay. And then the book of numbers, analyzing ROI in the pursuit of women. Really doesn't have anything to talk about, the topic we're having here. All right. Let's go to the super chats. JJJS 279 Canadians. Vivek 2024 thoughts. Well, that's who I was going to vote for. I keep, what was it? It was Herman Cain. Every time the guy I want to vote for in the primary, they drop out before I can vote for him. So it was Herman Cain, then it was Ben Carson, then it was Vivek. I wanted to, but I think it was Carson dropped out the day before the primary in Minnesota. And then it was Romney and then Trump. So my guy doesn't even get in. Vivek, that would have been the guy. That would have been, you thought Trump blew people out of the wall. You thought this was a landslide. If Vivek was in, Wisda, $2, dried up eggs and a cat. Dried up eggs and a cat. Student loan debts I can't pay. Student loan debts I can't pay. What is the word I'm looking for? Some herpes and antibiotic shot. Herpes and an antibiotic shot. Joe Orbitz, 20 generous dollars. Fist of the North Star guy, I believe there. I do believe that there are some women who are happier working, but those same women opened Pandora's box by assuming the rest of womankind wanted those freedoms. They're superficial hive mind, but really they miss the house. I hear new idea. Who cares? What do women want? Don Draper says, who cares? I'm done. It's not our responsibility to worry about what women want. I don't care. A lot of people say, well, they don't even have agency or decision. They're always groupthink. You know whose problem that is? That's a them problem. Men, because they want to fuck women, have put way too much effort into considering and caring about what women want. When it's tangible, it's a moving target, it's always changing, and there's as many things as women want as there are women. It's an impossible puzzle to solve. And I suggest men just stop caring about it. It's not our problem. It was on Twitter, somebody, I'm sorry. I'm trans. Well, I don't know if you were a guy or a girl before because you all look the exact same, indecipherable, undeterminable. Like Blair White, I think, okay, that's a girl. So it had to be a guy beforehand. I see origin and destination. I could tell. I see a bunch of androgynous, amorphous. Like, I don't know if you were a guy or a girl, so I'm sorry I didn't get your pronouns right. But this person, I think was a girl, had the top surgery done, and then posted a picture of her, him, childish conversations we have, post-surgery warning that, oh my God, I didn't know, and Trump is right, da-da-da-da. And all I said is, how is this my problem? How is this our problem? Dude, you're the one that cut off your tits, not me. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you girl boss. I don't care if you go into ridiculous amounts of debt for a women's studies degree. I don't care if you work. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom. I don't care if you're the trophy wife who raises the perfect fucking nuclear family. I don't have the time to give a fuck what you girls want. Make your fucking choice. Go down the path. And you know what? If you got regrets or it was the wrong path or your life was destroyed or generations of women aren't happy, sounds like a you problem. Because it is. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, well, bye. Oh, no. Moving on. And I think this is more of a criticism for our side. Oh my God, women this, and look at the women. They take the stick. There's that meme. They take the stick, they throw it in the bike spokes, and stupid, whatever, Trump or whatever. Blame person for your own mistakes. I don't even want to listen to them yell, Trump. I don't even care if they say it's myself. I'm like, yeah, well, I guess, all right. Guys, we're all going to die. We're all going to die. And I wasted enough fucking time worrying about what other people wanted, let alone women. Girls, ladies, you figure it out, man. You got this. You got this. Go be the girl boss. Go freeze your eggs. Go into debt. Go be it. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about your results. I don't care what happened. I only care about the women in my life and what they do. I only care about the women that I care about. And even then, I'm a stoic, indifferent libertarian motherfucker. I am very much about, I've seen women that I love, family, friends, that kind of thing, make dumb decisions. I'm like, oh, well, a lot of times because the decision's already been made. I can't help you. Never mind. Could have swore you heard me saying the words that were very important. Everyone nodded, said I was the right guy, and that you should, and you went and did the opposite thing. All right. Oh, you had the kid. Oh, never mind. All right. What do you think they should do? Every once in a while, what do you think they should do? I look at them and it's like, well, they should suffer. That's what they're going to do. Should. Like, there's a choice now. And they really miss the house. I don't care if they miss the house. I don't care if they're on antidepressant. I don't care what they want. I don't care what they said they wanted. I don't care what they acted on what they wanted. I don't care what they regrettably post-choice find it out with quarterback and Monday morning quarterback what they wanted all along. Not my concern. Dre, $2. Drowned in debt and trauma. Drowned in debt and trauma. Drowned in debt and trauma. Joseph Casano, new guy, $2. Hate accounting internship. Do I continue to CPA? No. Joseph, look, okay. You got to, Joe, let me help you out here. You got to differentiate. Do you hate it because of the accounting work, or do you hate it because of the people you're working with, like your boss and your coworkers? That's the difference. Okay. Accounting is boring. There's no doubt about it, but that's why you're paid. Okay. So you got to assess, is it because the work sucks, or is it because the people sucks? And then if you're already having issues, I would not continue on the CPA because you don't need the CPA. That's not the whole point. That's one of the main points of that course me and Chad put together. Chad has a CPA. He says it's not worth it. Wasn't worth it for me because he doesn't have kids. He doesn't have a wife. He's not the corporate man. He's self-employed. And there are other options, other career options within accounting that don't require a college degree, don't require work. I mean, you are going to have to work for someone else. But you don't. So if it's the people, keep in mind, you don't have to work for people in accounting. I mean, you are for a while. You got to get a couple years experience anyway, but you could be off to your enrolled agent. You could be off being your own bookkeeper, whatever it is that you want. If you haven't taken it, I recommend taking that the course called The World's Greatest Accounting Career. It goes through all your options. And the CPA, that's a long haul. That's a master's degree. That's a bunch of bullshit courses. That's working for some fucking asshole Big Four group. You may not, if you hate accounting, don't get a CPA, but you don't need a CPA to be successful in accounting. Joe Orbits, $5. As Carl from ATHF. Damn it, you Zoomer kids. ATHF. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Let's go back. He says, it don't matter. None of this matters. Tragic. What a waste. All right, there you go. Ladies, I tell you to look at your lives and figure things out and evaluate. But you got this. And it sounds like a you problem. Super hypersonic Enjoy the antidepressants and cats, toodles.